Hello dear students, welcome to Devika's Commerce and Management Academy. We are discussing about valuation of shares. Valuation of shares, as I told you, 3 methods are there. 3 methods introduction I gave you in the previous class. Now I would like to suggest you one thing. After completing all practical problems, first method, second method and third method, then you refer the first class, means previous class, so that you'll have more clarity after working out the practicals. If you get in examination like theory point of view, you will be able to answer it. After practicals, refer the theory. With clarity you'll understand. Now today we'll see the first method, that is net assets method you can say, or intrinsic value method, anything, okay. So net asset value method I told you in the previous class. What is the formula? Value of each share, valuation of shares now. So each share we wanted to calculate. How do we calculate? Total assets minus payment of liabilities minus preference share capital divided by number of equity shares. This is the formula. Rather than writing all these things, total assets minus payment of liabilities minus preference shares, we can say it in short, net assets. Okay. Net assets by number of equity shares, easy to remember. You can use lengthy formula or short formula, you can use net assets by number of equity shares, so that you will get per share value, okay. Value of each share you will come to know. Through a problem you will have more clarity. So let's take this problem. From the given balance sheet of Mr. Goyal, find out the value of shares as per asset backing method. Asset backing method, net assets method, intrinsic value method, do not get confused. That is why I have used different word. Asset backing method, asset, net asset, asset backing, intrinsic. Able to remember? Now, as per this method we have to use this formula. What is given to us? Balance sheet is given. Asset side, fixed assets, investments, current assets, preliminary expenses. You know what is preliminary expenses? Promotional point of view. To develop the organization, we have to give some promotions. So for that purpose, if you are spending anything, preliminary expenses we say. And now coming to the liabilities at share capital. Share capital means nothing but equity share capital only. Reserves, profit and loss account, 6% debentures and current liabilities. What we need to prepare? First of all, we have to get the net assets. To get the net assets, we have to prepare valuation of shares. For this, first we'll say solution. For valuation of shares, we have to get the net assets. How do we get a net assets? Same formula, total assets. Total assets means here we have to take fixed assets, investments, current assets, but not preliminary expenses. Though we are considering preliminary expenses as assets, when it comes to the valuation of shares, we don't consider it. So that is why we are going to take only these 3 assets only. So first let me write here assets. What are the assets we are going to take? Fixed assets, investment and current assets. Okay, fixed assets 10 lakh. Next, investments 80,000. Next, current assets 1,60,000. That's all. These are the totals. Okay, these are the assets we are calculating. 10 lakh plus 11 lakh, 12 lakh 40,000 I think. 10 lakh 80,000 plus 1,60,000. Yeah, 12 lakh 40,000 it is. This is gross assets. Okay, we can say it as a gross assets. Now we have to deduct the liabilities. less, we'll use blue color, less liabilities. What are the liabilities we are going to take? You need to be very careful. Now, as a liabilities, share capital, equity share capital, that is not going to take, we are not going to take it as liability. Only few liabilities we are going to take, even the reserves also, it's not liability. What we have to take is here, profit and loss account is also profit of last years, right? So, this is also not liability. Now, we are going to take 6% debentures. This is exactly the liability of the company. Shares, in fact, it's an investment, but though it's an investment, we are showing it on the liability side. From the company point of view, it is liabilities. That is why we are showing, but anyway, it is not liability. So, that is why we are not taking reserves anyway. From the last year profits, we are providing reserves. So, this is also not going to take. Profit and loss account, last year's profit, no, it's not liability. Now, 6% debentures is purely liability. And also current liabilities, this is also liability. Now, what we are going to do? We are going to take only these two liabilities. Deduct liabilities, I said na. What liabilities? 6% debentures and current liabilities. Now, 6% debentures, 1 lakh, and also current liabilities. Current liabilities 1 lakh. So, total together it is 12,40,000. I did not write properly. 12,40,000. Deduct 2 lakh. If you deduct, you will get 10,40,000. What is this 10,40,000? Equity shares, net assets, you can say. Okay. So, this is the net assets, you got it. Or you can say net assets of equity shares also, you can say. Short form, net assets. Net assets, you got 10,40,000. Now, what else is needed? Net assets is, you know, got it this much. And divided by number of equity shares. Number of equity shares are, here I will show you, roughly I will show you. Total shares are 4,50,000. Each share is 10 rupees. Means 45,000 shares are there. Number of shares, now we need number of equity shares. How do you come to number of equity shares? Total shares are 4,50,000. Each share is 10 rupees. 10 rupees each. 4,50,000 divided by 10. So that you will get number of shares. Number of shares are 45,000. Number of equity shares 45,000 you got. Now we can put it in the formula. Now calculation of value of shares. Value of each share is equal to net assets by number of equity shares. Write the formula. Okay, I am not writing, or otherwise I will write net assets by number of equity shares. Net assets are, we got it already, 10,40,000 divided by equity shares. Total shares are 45,000. If we calculate 10,40,000 divided by 45,000, it comes to 23.11. Value of each share. Okay. Value of each share is 23.11. Simple, there is nothing to worry. First take a screenshot or note down, then after that I will give you recap. As per this net asset value method, okay, intrinsic value method, So what is needed is a formula you must remember. What is the formula? Net assets divided by number of equity shares, so that you will come to know each share value. How do you get net assets? All the assets divided by liabilities. But you must be very careful. What are the assets? As we have seen the assets, only preliminary expense doesn't comes under the assets. The rest of everything is assets only. And in liabilities also, only few liabilities we are going to take. What are those? These two only. Why we are not taking these three, I explained you. Okay? Three assets, that is comes to gross asset. Deduct liabilities are these two, debentures and current liabilities. If you deduct it, you are getting net assets. Once if you get the net assets, write the formula. Before going to the net assets, you have to calculate how many shares are there. How we have come to know how many shares are there? Always remember, equity shares will be given to you. Per share values so and so, and total shares divided by each share, so that you will come to know total amount divided by per share value, so that you will come to know total number of shares. We have done the same thing. Value of this share capital divided by per share value, total number of shares, you got it. Now we have put it in the formula, net assets divided by number of equity shares. Net assets 10,40,000, number of equity shares 45,000, as we have calculated here. So you got 23.11 is the share value per share value. Per share value is this much as per the net asset method. Am I clear? If you understand, we'll work out one more problem in the coming class, so that you'll get more clarity. By the way, you try to work out the same problem without looking at the solution. Understand it, roughly you work out, then fair notes, work out some more problems by taking your textbook. Method is same. Okay? Stay connected. Don't forget to share these videos. Have a bright future. Good luck.